we will get into money talks. I can let you all know what happened today. Oh my gosh, one of those days, guys. I've been busy. I know I said I was gonna come on a little bit earlier, but life be lifing, okay? Life be lifing over here. I was busy, booked and busy the entire time. I just turned off my app. You all know that I'm down to one phone because I had to be, the nice individual, and I lent hubby my phone. Okay, because his phone just decided to go bye bye. So, with that being said, when I'm working, I'm not able to do live and simultaneously work both things at the same time. So, I just finished up with a little bit of work. It's 4 p.m. over here in Hawaii, and heading home. And I said I was going to come on and do a little bit of Shmoney talk today because Lyft has definitely been treating me nicely. I have not been on the other apps for the longest, but let me tell you, Lyft and also um, Walmart Spark has been very kind to me these last couple of weeks. And when one is kind to you, why not talk about it? So that way they could probably be kind to you too, um, at the same time. So I decided today I was going to do a little bit of Lyft. I was supposed to just do a little bit of Lyft, guys, and I ended up doing a little bit too much, but the orders and the offers was really good. Today, my last lift that I picked up, you guys remember I told you guys a story a few weeks ago about the guy that came in my car. He was crying and talking about his dog and, you know, putting the windows down, and he was just yelling out the window, just talking and screaming to the other cars, and then told me that he had a mental situations, and he gave me a whole lot of information about the drugs that he was on and he's getting off. And oh my gosh, I was like, oh my goodness, this is too much for me. And I had to deal with him for like over 45 minutes stuck in traffic. Well, guess what? Sometimes you just repeat the same thing over and over again. I just got a chance to pick him up again. I was like, you again? But anyway, he was a little bit better mentally. However, though, he shared with me his situation of what was going on with him. He always had a problem with something. And this time it wasn't not getting his dog. This time is about him and his phone and not being able to get in his money. And I was like, oh my God. And he's telling me how he's hungry and he's don't have no money. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You mean to say I'm gonna have to take my tip money that I made today and hand buy you some Taco Bell or something? And he was like, no, no. And I said, oh my gosh, should I? Because sometimes we think about things I'm a I'm a fixer by nature. So whenever you bring something to me, I'm automatically in that mental space of, okay, let me see how I can assist you. So in my head, I was getting ready. I was going to offer him some of my tips. I was going to be like, you know what? Here you go, bro. I know you're going through tough times. He said he don't have no job, but on Monday he have good hopes up. He's going to get a job. And I was like, man, and here we are thinking that we're going through struggle when somebody else's struggle is worse than ours. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was crossing T's and dotting I's all this last week and a half, 2 weeks. And guys, let me tell you something. Somebody else is doing worse. They're in a worse predicament than I was in. I was like, well, Paula, you need to chuckle up and hush your face, girl, because you're looking here to complain or feeling like you're a little bit too much. And your orange is squeezed all the way out when somebody else don't even have an orange. They have nothing. Okay. So learning to allow whatever you're going through to go through it and stop complaining about it. Just go through it. It's temporary. So that's what I had to do. My situation was temporary, and guess what? Today it's a new day, and every day that I wake up, I always say, "We're gonna push through this one more day. We're gonna push through this one more day." And I made it to Saturday, guys. And you know what? Doing nothing but a little thing. Yeah, you felt a certain way. You felt overwhelmed and bogged down. Paulette was like about to bust into tears. Like I was like, "Oh my God, Lord! I know I was asking you for patience, but I can't handle this one. I don't want it no more." I keep telling them now, I'm not asking you for patience. Why you keep sending me scenarios for patience, Lord? I think I figured it out already. Stop sending me the scenarios for the patients because that's where I'm at. I be getting a lot of scenarios where I have to develop the patience, where I have to develop understanding. And sometimes it becomes overwhelming because you're not understanding what's going on, but then yet everybody else on the other side wants you to understand it. And for me, that is like, oh my gosh. But anyway, that was just my little tangent for today. I just want to let you all know that, keep pushing through, keep thriving. Life is gonna be life and no sense of complaining. My grandfather always used to say, no sense of you complaining about your situation and your scenario because it may get worse. Okay, and we don't want it to get worse, so just hush. Okay, go pray about it somewhere. Get on the knees, lay down across your bed, lay down on the floor, go flat your face, lean up on the wall. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you all gotta pray through it. I've been praying through it, and guess what? It works. First does work. But today, guys, I wanted to talk about the gig economy. Y'all know that right now, the gig economy is definitely on fire, depending on which app that you are jumping on in. And for me, right now, Lyft is doing wonders. Okay, Lyft is doing wonders. Now, many people ask the question, well, Paulette, I know you're a girl, you wear skirts, sometimes dresses, and you work Lyft. Okay, how does that work as somebody that's driving individuals? It could be females or males around. What times do you get started? What time do you stop? So I'm here to answer those questions for the ones that's planning on doing Lyft and you may feel a little bit intimidated. Now, I can only talk to you guys or speak to you guys in regards to my situation here on the island of Oahu. Hawaii. I don't know about the mainland. So, as a lady here in Oahu, Hawaii, driving Lyft, I must tell you guys, I will highly recommend you guys to jump on. It's not a it's not a hard task. You're picking up, you're dropping individuals off. Yes, out of my whole 2 years that I had registered, I went 1 year, I did not work the app. Not until last year I started to work the app. I think I shared that video with you guys in the gig economy. And I was doing a few pickups heading to the gym, few pickups after the gyms, and I shared with you the money that I was making because there's money in Lyft. But guys, I just want you all to know, once you register on it, try it out to see how it works. I've never had like a bad scenario. Yes, I had disrespectful individual. I had one disrespectful individual. I had the dog scenario. I had the lady that came in my car with the turkey. I share all those scenarios with you. You will have different scenarios, but as a Lyft driver, a mature Lyft driver that's in the business, I just want we all learn to adapt and adjust, right? So I know if somebody comes in, with their little turkey smell, smelling like something that I don't want to smell in an air condition, I stay quiet. I smile still. You got to smile through it, guys. And then when I drop them off, just give them a 1 star and I unmatch myself from them. That's the advantage of Lyft. You don't have to get in a quarrel with nobody in your Lyft car. You don't have to get in any argument with them. You don't have to go in no disputes where people want to just go back and forth with people and like da, 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 da. Nope, nope. I am gonna stay. See, if we're driving, I ain't arguing with you. Okay, I'm gonna let you go and run your face. However, though, after that, I am done. I'm done with all of the the thingy. I'm gonna give you a 1 star and I unassign myself from you so that way you no longer will be able to match with me. And that's advantage of Lyft. Now, number two, sometimes people may come in and they may try to come in your car and use a little profanity here and there. Well, you could set boundaries right at the beginning. What helps me a lot is the type of music that I play. So I play gospel music, so automatic, and I wear my shirts that say, put a praise on it or God is dope. You're going to identify with individuals and people can see straight through you. They'll be like, oh, okay, this person, I can't use certain words. Or if they even slip something, they'll apologize and they'll adjust their verbiage. But most of the time, people automatically comes in my car. I don't have nobody swinging off those nice little big rocks words or anything like that. They're very respectable in my car. That was my experience so far. Yes, you're gonna get the onesie twosie that from him, her, them, their, they. You're going to get a whole bunch of variety of people. However, though, you must treat everybody equal all across the board. If any shape or form you're on Lyft and you're feeling, that you're in a bad mental space, or you're feeling like you in a negative position, or somebody says something and hurt your feelings and you don't know how to get around that, I will highly recommend after you drop off certain individuals, turn off and go on a different app just to change the routine, change the environment, because sometimes Lyft can be a little bit overwhelming for some people. You're listening to everybody's conversation, positive, negative, pessimistic, a whole bunch of stuff be going on, guys. And you as an individual, you have to know how to shift through and chisel through. But as long as they're paying for their ride, yes, you could tell them, can you tone it down? Can you not use certain things kindly and nicely? If they're not being responsive to what you are trying to order in your car, you can pull over and you can tell them, I will advise you all to please step out of my car because I wouldn't want to take you where you have to go because you are not following, you're being disrespectful. I have not gotten to that position besides one little old lady that I wouldn't even look at her as a threat. She was really strong and aggressive towards me. But I just looked at her and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take her from point A to point B. Otherwise, she was gonna be bogged down in the rain with like a bunch of bags. I pulled around the corner. When I pulled around the corner, let me tell you something. I dropped clean off right there. I said, ma'am, I think it's best for you to find someone else. I didn't want to do it, but she was just mean. Let me tell you, kindness is free. It's free. Nobody paid for it. You just do it. So if I'm giving somebody a ride, automatically be grateful for it because I don't have to do it. And then you step into my car and then you want to disrespect me. No, sorry, Bob. I'm gonna call customer service and you're gonna be dropped off at the next corner. Okay, so that one was one where I dropped off at the next corner kindly, but I didn't want to leave her out in the rain. I was still nice, but she was doing a little bit too much. All right. But sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And you're going to be able to figure out, do I want to go there or I just want to stay quiet, drop them off, and then they would not be back on your map again because you can detach yourself from them by giving them a zero and specify why. Okay. So Lyft for me and a female on Lyft in Hawaii, I think I mean, I have not heard anybody with any horror stories unless you're driving at late at night, or you're driving early mornings in the dark. And, I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I only could tell you guys the routine that I'm taking myself and how I pick up my drives and drop them off and the times. So my times is from 6 o'clock, whenever the sun come out and I can see clearly. That's when I turn on. Sometime it works. Sometime I don't get a ride right there early morning. Well, I have other apps. That's why I keep telling you guys, register on all the apps. It's going to become a point in time when one app is not functioning right. You could always turn the other one on. Give yourself options and wiggle room so that you can always default to a different app when that one is not working in your favor. Okay. So sometimes I get a ride from my house on Lyft and it works perfectly throughout the day. And sometimes I don't. So I have to go on Walmart Spark in order to get to start my day off, to get that little 40 or $50 first order so that I can level the playing field after my gym to add into what I have to add in to make up for my goal, right? However, lately my goal is a little bit heavier than average, meaning I increase myself. That's another thing. When you're starting in the gig economy, make sure you're not willy-nillying it. Give yourself a goal and stick to it. Okay. You can say, I want to make $50. I only want to make $10. I only want to make $20 a day. Whatever goal you want to make $100, $200, $250, $300. Just know the higher you go, the more effort you're going to have to put in on certain apps. That's why I tell you all again, register on all the apps so you can give yourself wiggle room and you will be able to bridge the gap. Okay. So my day so far, and I'm going to share with you guys, my goal for the day is $200 to $300 a day. That's my goal. Do I hit it always? Not always, but I don't go below the lowest portion. Okay. I'm gonna if 200 2 to 300 is my goal, I'm not gonna go 199. Like maybe I'm just mentally special, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get that $1. Okay, we gonna get what the minimum goal is gonna be. Some people their goal is just $100 a day. That's fine. I have things that I want to create and I'm doing right now, so mine's maybe a little bit higher because I understand the market. I already shared with you guys, so you know how to do it. The days, the times of the day that will give you guys your bang for your bucks. I told you guys that. So on Lyft for me, that is my go-to app. That's what I worked today all day, and I made over $200. And yes, you get tips, more tips, especially on the weekend around this time. But I don't work around this time. My cutoff time is around 2 o'clock, no later than 3, because I got to pick my son up from school. And I know that sometime I will go over depending on what it is that I'm looking for. So I'm going on vacation for probably a month and a half, guys. Yes, a cuckoo like that. We going on vacation. So I want a little extra spending money. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and I'm working a little bit extra so that I can have extra because my kids, you can't just go visit all these different islands and then all of a sudden they want to buy a coconut and you're like looking at them like, no, we can't buy a coconut. I already bought you on the trip, so we can't afford a coconut. So I'm not gonna be able to buy you a coconut and ruin their little memory. No, you want to have a little extra pocket money. You go ahead and you work a little bit extra so that way you'll be able to help your kids out and entertain them and give them great memories on these excursions that you're about to go on. And you happy and they're definitely happy. Hi Jinx, welcome into Life of Paulette. If you guys are just coming in here, go ahead and hit that like button. I'm seeing 19 of you guys up in here and now it's down to 10, but come on guys, hit that like button. Okay, so we're talking today in regards to Shmoney Talk Saturdays. If you all have any questions or any concerns within the gig economy you want to ask me, the three apps, major apps that I work is Walmart Spark, Lyft, and a little bit of DoorDash here and there. I have not been going all full force on DoorDash just because I feel DoorDash is not paying me enough right now. They did a great job during the holiday, but this summertime, for me and what it is that I'm looking for, DoorDash is not it. Okay. Hi, Sister Elvira. Hope all is well with you, sis. Thanks for coming into Life with Paulette. So for me, guys, DoorDash is not it right now. The it is Lyft and Walmart Spark. So they're the two that I'm bridging the gap on. Sometime in Lyft, you may also ask people will be like, oh, have anybody like try to flirt with you or anything like that. I never maybe because my face is always very, yes, I smile and I talk and I'll giggle with whoever come in my car. I'll always say good morning. I would say good afternoon. How are you doing? There's a two questions that I ask. After that, the conversation is going to be based upon the individual in the back. Some people don't want to be bothered. They don't know that I don't want to be bothered either. I just want to drive, get paid, and drop them off and keep going on the next ride. I don't even want to talk. But some folks, guys, they really want to have a conversation with you. So you go back and forth. So if they ask me, what's your favorite color? And I would say, well, my favorite color is orange. And then I would say, and what's your favorite color? You go back, you dialogue back and forth so that way, especially on a long Lyft ride. Sometimes those 45 minutes rides, those 50 minutes rides, sometimes those hour rides, you got to figure out how you're going to entertain yourself, stay focused on the road and make sure that their questions, as long as they're not out there off the wall questions that they're asking you, just be kind and nice, right? And then when they hush, I hush. Okay. And that's how it is. That's the cue when you are in a Lyft ride. Don't keep asking them the questions. You you bounce off of their question. So let them lead. Your two first questions when you start to drive Lyft is good morning. When they come in, how are you today? And hush. Nobody else want to hear nothing else because guess what? Some people they don't want it. That's it. They'll say good morning. And if they say good morning, depending on how they respond to me, if they sound a little bit dry, you know, and not as juicy as that good morning, how are you today? Then guess what? That's a sign to me as a driver, they don't want to talk. They may not have brushed their teeth that morning and they're aware of it. So they want to stay quiet. And guess what? I definitely agree with that. If you come in my car and your teeth is all smelling like yesterday's brunch, then hush then. Don't say nothing. Just wave and I don't understand. I'll get the memo real quick. Okay, that's what happened mostly on these Lyft ride. Most drivers don't get the memo. They keep going until the individual may tell them, you know what, I don't want to talk right now, or they'll ignore them or whatever. I've never had that done to me. Mainly, I be trying to tell them, I give them, if they say A, I'll give them B, and I'm done. Because, like I say, I want to get paid. I'm not here to entertain. Just give me my money, and you go where your destination. I go my way. So that's another thing that you guys want to be cautious about on when to hush. I know, and I know it's hard. I know it's hard because especially if they ask you that one question and you're all up in there. And sometimes you just gotta know when to fold it and when to hold it. And sometimes you gotta hold it, even though it's foaming through your ears, you hold it. Shh, be quiet. Kaya say, okay? Kaya say. But that's my Lyft experience for ladies that want to try out Lyft. I don't know about the mainland, like I mentioned to you guys, but I know over here in Hawaii, I've never had a scenario where I felt, like my life was in danger. And like I mentioned to you guys also, as a lady driver, I don't drive at night, dropping people off in the dark or picking people up. And I don't do early mornings either. I like when the sun is out, and I only do 2 to 3 and I stop. And then I go to the gym and I do 2 to 3 delivery rides and I stop. And in between that, I'll do Walmart Spark early mornings. And guys, I go home because at the end of the day, I ain't trying to go out there for no 12 to 18 hours, which you can't go 18 hours on Lyft. It's only 12 hours straight, but I'm not planning on working 12 hours. I did that last year. And let me tell you, I'm still sleepy from all that effort that I put in. But was it worth it? Yes, it was. Hi, Sugar Ronnie. How are you? We're just talking a little bit about Shmoney talk and, female doing Lyft, the pros and the cons of a driver, and I was just sharing with you guys. I give you guys some pros, some of my experience, and some of the cons probably will be where, you're also trying to to um to do things at a like early mornings or late, or you're in the wrong place. If you're gonna drive on Lyft, make sure that you know which streets not to go. Please. If you get a order, a ride contract, make sure you know what that street is. Like in Hawaii, there's one street everybody said do not go on. I'm aware of that street, right? So guess what? Any order that I receive and I see lures, guess what? I'm going on there. So I'm not going to accept that order. Once you are aware of your surroundings, you would never end up in front of the wrong location, and you do not belong there. Okay, so make sure that you're aware of it. Now Hawaii don't have all of that thing like the mainland where you can't come here, can't go there. Mainly they would say look out for that location because there's a lot of little powder going on in that little alley. There's a lot of the G's up in there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of things that go on in that alley that you may just catch a cross one, and you may not be able to duck fast enough. So it's best not to go in there. That's why you don't go in there. Okay. And you all know which street not to go down on the mainland either. Okay. So don't be going down the wrong locations, but just be mindful that wherever you going, you know your surroundings, know your area. Okay. Because on Lyft, they're going to pick you up from your house and you end up on the other side of the world if it's possible. They'll send you all over the place. So the quicker you learn your location, the quicker you learn your surrounding, the better it's going to be. So is Lyft dangerous? For me here in Hawaii, I've never experienced it. Should a woman try out Lyft just for a few deliveries? I would say go for it. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Would you want to do it like a full time? I've seen ladies out there doing a full time job, paying rent and mortgages off of their Lyft income. Lyft do a really great job when it comes to paying you in that hour per hour. Okay. So if I had my other phone, I would have been able to swipe up and show you guys. But this phone, if I swipe, I'm going to lose you all. And I don't want to do that. Not today. Okay. So, like I mentioned to you guys, I will try it out, because Walmart, some people are on waiting list for Walmart. Some people are on waiting list for other apps that they're still waiting on, and they're just thinking about, maybe I should try Lyft, or let Paulette tell you, go ahead and try it. You can make $200 to $300 a day and still be home to pick the kids. That's the advantage of Lyft. Now, if you do have small kids, then maybe a DoorDash, or maybe a Walmart Spark, or a Uber Eats, Grubhub will work best for you, because you can put the kids in the back of the car as you do your deliveries. Sometimes it works if you have disciplined kids. If you don't have if you got those little babies kids, then I just want you to know that maybe that would not work, with all them in the back of the car screaming and yelling that they want McDonald's when you go pick up McDonald's. That may not work. But if you have a disciplined child, I would like to tell you that you can try to take them along, and you make your money, and then they teach the kids too. Sometimes you want to house certain things, then you got to go to work. So you're teaching them a principle at the same time, when they see you working, and you let them know, I'm got to work to make the little extra, you know. But go ahead and give it a try. I know I have a few friends today I sent out. I told them, I said they were loud and a little bit ugly here and there, because people share, you know, their heart with you in the back of a Lyft ride, and you're like, not meaning that they're trying to get, meaning that they're open up a lot to you. They're like, I'm not gonna see you again. Let me just pour it all out on you, and that's what they do. And you're like, wow, I didn't, I'm so sorry, X, Y, and Z. And you compliment, like the guy that I brought for the second time. When I saw him, I was like, oh my God, here he is again. I didn't know I was going to get little Alejandro, and Alejandro just dropped all his rocks in my car, telling me about he didn't have no job, and he was hungry, and he was sad, and he wanted to cry again. And I was like, Alejandro, don't cry. Don't cry up in my car. That's what I wanted to tell him. Like, don't cry up my car up in here. Okay, you're a grown man. You need to learn to take it. All right, you take it. But I didn't say that. But I wanted to say that, okay? I sure wanted to say that. This big old man talking about he wanted to cry because he was hungry and he didn't have a job, and things were going like, he literally, and I felt bad for him. Don't get me wrong. I was sad. I was sad for little Alejandro, but his scenario was, I all we could do is pray for little Alejandro. Y'all pray for him too, okay? Anyway, guys, I just got home, and I'm gonna go ahead and head inside and try to grab something to eat. But how are you guys doing today? I hope the little information in regards to female and Lyft helped a little bit. If you all have more question in regards to females driving Lyft, feel free to go ahead and let me know, so I can answer those for you. But I don't think that you guys gonna go ahead inside, Jaden. And then Jaden comes out, and he's like waving already. See the kids, I just pulled up, and they are ready, trying to get my attention. So y'all already know, by the time I hit the garage, they're like, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. They want me to do something for them. So I'm home now. So I'm going to go inside. But I hope that that helped you guys, and you guys don't get intimidated by Lyft, female driving Lyft. Because let me tell you, it ain't nothing but a little thing. Okay. It's nothing but a little thing. Just don't drive early morning in the dark, and don't drive late at night, or to be on the safer side. But can it be done as a female? Yes, it can. Just pick the wisest time to go and do it. Alrighty. Thank you guys for coming in. Let me see what Jinx is saying. Jinx, what are you saying up in these comments? She said, I'm going to post videos May 22nd because my hands are sore from all of the editing. Oh, see? But you're doing a good job. So whenever you do posts, you go ahead and you get her done, girlfriend. You get her done. But that's what happens. See, I can't do all that editing thing. I can't. I can't. Not right now. I did that at the beginning, but right now, I don't have the time. You see, I'm home. It's for something. I ain't trying to do no editing. I just wanted to do my conversations on the go to get you guys a little bit motivated. And then, by the way, I haven't seen my health and fitness, conversation I had with one of my Lyft rides that I haven't seen since last year. And I saw him, and I was sharing with him about my weight loss journey, telling him, you inspire me, because he lost a lot of weight. And he looks at me with tears in his eyes. He's like, and I gained 50 pounds. I said, well, you better get it back together. He said, I need you to push me out of here so I can get myself together, because I'm just bench eating. Everybody goes into that slump because I was in that slump. When he shared his story with me, I was like, I need to do better. I was in a slump. I was bench eating too. I would, if I just smelled it, I was like, I think that is corn on a cob with butter on it. I even could imagine what was I smelling and I want some. So I go and I get that. Or I will go in the refrigerator and I start looking for what it is that my stomach is telling me I need to grab right then and there. That is bench eating. You're not hungry, guys. You're just thirsty. You're dehydrated. Go grab some water, some hot tea, and sit down. Okay, maybe a little hot decaf coffee if it's nighttime, and sit down, guys. You're not hungry. Like right now, I am hungry though because I had me a mid snack, which were my eggs. My boiled eggs. I do my apple, and I do my hand of peanuts. So I'm full. I was full all the way until now. So 5 o'clock is dinner. I'm gonna eat. And then I'm gonna sit down and finish up my little K dramas. And by the way, don't come for me talk about, oh my God, you watched it. Yes, I do. I do. Pray for me and I'll pray for you. Okay. I do watch some of the K drama. The Chinese dramas is a little bit better, but I do watch them. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Okay. I still watch them. They're not something where you're gonna sit there and be like not watching anything, just staring at the wall. Stop it. Y'all know you ain't doing that. Y'all be watching stuff and hopefully it's good stuff, not no bunch of wickedness. K dramas is very calm, very relaxing, and they don't have a whole lot of stuff up in there. Some of them you have to shuffle through, but I really pray for me because I do watch my little Chinese dramas. They're less aggressive, okay, and because they're less aggressive, all of that good old stuff, we don't have to worry about. They're very very good. But anyway, that's all I have for you all today. Figure out what you want to spend your rest of your weekend. Tomorrow is Sunday. And, enjoy your family. I'm going to go enjoy my family right now. Why? Because that's the right thing to do. Oh, thank you, honey. Come on, come on. Still, every time I pull in, hubby is coming on. Hubby's coming on. Look at him plugging in my car. Y'all hear that? There you go. Thank you. Oh my goodness. He's like, plug the car in. Every time I pull up to my garage, he comes in. We have something called On Guard on our phones. And whenever he can see that I pull in, he'll come out and he gonna plug my car in if he's home. If he's not home, then I gotta do it myself. I'm so spoiled. But anyway, guys, I love you guys and thank you guys for coming up on Saturday to you. And I'll see you all on the next one.